Sunmi and Alistair, thank you for this wonderful concert. Was this all improvised, or because you're both composers? What were we listening to?
Yeah, so it was mainly improvised. Let's say there were some fragments in there that we were both aware of previously, but those are fragments that were improvised in the past. Actually, we just recorded an album, kind of impromptu album, during this whole world going crazy period. And so a lot of the fragments that you heard today, we recorded on that album, and then on listening back, they kind of returned as themes, let's say.
So really it's like variation on a theme?
Yeah, definitely. That's a...
And how do you know, I mean, is it all intuitive, Sunmi? Is it, do you just, you don't think, you just go?
Well, the duo works easier in a sense of playing together, and it's like conversation. It's much easier when you talk to a person rather than people, right? More people. So it's like what I do, he's gonna listen to it and adjust on me, and I'm also gonna listen to him like 100%, and I'm gonna also adjust and play with him, you know? So it's all going together.
So who's the leader?
Nah, there isn't one, right?
Half and half?
No, but it's like with dancing, you know, the man leads the woman, or maybe sometimes the woman leads the man, but that's not...
Well, we say what's loudest.
Yeah, exactly. She's got a bit more power than me. Let's put it that way.
She's louder.
And she's got sticks to throw at me in case, you know.
But you use your hands a lot also.
Yeah.
That's quite unusual, isn't it?
It is unusual.
In jazz, I mean.
Yeah, and it's my favorite thing to do. When you have good space like this hall, and you have a good drums that it resonate, and it's the best thing that you can hit something with your hands rather than you have extra thing to hit. Of course, that's also nice. That's what I do usually, but this is something it really connects.
Artists always praise the acoustics here. How did you feel about this?
Yeah, so it's a complete luxury. It's what we were
A luxury?
what we were talking about. Particularly for this music, I think when there's a lot of space, certain things you want to hear elongated and extended, you know, and having such a large space with a really transparent reverb is, yeah, it's the best. Like.
Did you miss the audience?
It's a very sensitive question, right? Actually, in this space, I would say no.
Yeah, me too.
We
I
really
love playing.
felt like in a zone that we were really locked down actually on the stage with a lot of reverb, and it felt we didn't feel lonely in that sense. But of course, there is always interaction between audience and performer, of course, and then there's a clapping and there's shouting, and mostly in jazz. So that we miss,
Yeah.
you know, some interaction. So we feel great to be here with some people who loves music.
Yeah.
You were asked to be artist in residence for this coming North Sea Round Town.
Yes.
What were your plans?
Well, with North Sea Round Town and me, I had lots of different plans actually. I was composing for a dance project that I wanted to do as a new project actually. Beside that, I have my own quintet, which the album came out in March 20, but then it was postponed. So we were about to have a release concert, new album release concert in North Sea Round Town. And I had some duo project like this, and also with a singer, and some more improvised projects that I wanted to put in North Sea Round Town program.
Such an honor to be asked also, don't you think?
Yes, it's like it's dream come true, you know, something that you dreamed of, that something was actually impossible to make it possible with myself, that North Sea Round Town helped me to, you know, give me strength and then actual support that, you know, I can create something that I wanted to do.
Because you did something last year that was everybody was raving about, the thing you did a concert at the photo museum.
Yes.
Could you tell me about that?
North Sea Round Town, was it North Sea Round Town?
Yeah.
Right, North Sea Round Town Photo Museum. That was crazy. We never played in a museum, photo museum, which I've never been. And it was we were playing in lobby, and before that I actually checked pictures from. I'm not gonna remember the name of the. Ed
van der Elske.
Ed
Famous
van der Elske.
photographer.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Such a nice
And such an inspiration. I didn't know his name before, and I didn't know his work either. And then before playing, like 1 hour before, I went to the museum, and then I had like 2 hours just wandering about, and then checking his picture and writing some notes. And yeah, that was a really, really nice experience.
But you were inspired by his work, and that's how you played.
Well, I wouldn't say completely that I played by his inspiration 100%, because the song were already made. You know, we had a repertoire. It wasn't improvised. It was my quintet, so which was more or less through composed piece. So pieces were already exist. So I just had you know, like a warm heart that, you know, his work and his life, and then his eyes, the camera saw this word, crazy words at that time, which I wasn't there, you know. So I had a quite warm heart, you know. So
You're both. You're from very different backgrounds. You're from South Korea. You're from Dumfries, Scotland. How did you get to the Netherlands? What made you come to the Netherlands?
Well, for me, it was very much about like the school, the conservatory, I wanted something different. I wanted to get away from what I knew, and I was sort of weighing up going down to London, which is a very common thing to do in the UK if you want to study art or particularly jazz music. And then I got accepted into the conservatory here, and that for me was like a bit of a no-brainer. It was like, yeah, of course I'm going to go do something different, and it felt like the right thing to do, and I really did, yeah. I definitely
you wanted
don't
to get
regret
out
it.
of the UK also.
Yeah, at that point it was. I'm not going to get political or anything, but it felt good to experience something new, and yeah. I saw that the school was very international, and that was a big, big thing for me. I wanted not just to learn about music, but also about other people and ways of thinking.
And how about you?
I'm here for 9 years right now, but so 9 years ago in Korea, there was not many jazz school which I can learn, which I got into jazz from pop bass. I was in pop conservatory, and then I got into jazz, but there was nowhere to learn, and so I looked up schools and stuff, and then of course in New York and Amsterdam came as a second, which was very interesting for me, which I never thought that I'm gonna be out of Korea studying something or work something. I thought I'm gonna, I was born in Korea, I'm gonna die in Korea. Like super, that closed mindset, of course, but then this opened up, and YouTube, of course, internet going very active, of course. So yeah, I had a lot of friends who wanted to go to Conservatory van Amsterdam, so I was like applying with my friends, like going picnic stuff, like I'm also gonna apply to go to jazz school. I didn't know anything. I didn't know they have their own language. I really had no basic knowledge about European countries, to be honest. So I was like, okay, I came here for only jazz. Now, oh my God, I don't understand. I didn't even speak English, so I don't understand why people behave like this. Like a lot of phases that I had to go through. But that's a base story for me.
There's no jazz scene in Korea?
Now it is. Now it's huge. But back
Thanks
then
to you,
there was no. I don't feel like I didn't do anything, because I was really focused in Dutch jazz scene rather than back there. So I'm very thankful to Korean musicians who were studying abroad and they came back to Korea and then they changed the scene completely. Yeah.
What's the how as people from outside, what's the jazz scene like in the Netherlands? I feel it's really young and inspiring and sort of hip.
Yeah, it's very diverse. Like for me, when you're studying in the school, there's very much a bubble around this school. The conservatorium is huge. There's a lot of students, and every year a new batch of students come in from all over the world, and it's exciting times. You go to the sessions in town, and suddenly there's new faces, and they're all really talented. They're all really good at what they do. And so for me, when I was studying a few years ago, it felt like that was it. Like, this is huge. This is immense and beautiful, and so much going on. But then upon sort of like exiting the school and entering this new environment, which is very much, it's more lonesome after you've been in school. You have to spend more time by yourself, organizing things, practicing by yourself, fix a practice space. And then I sort of discovered that a lot of the concerts and gigs I was getting were from people out with this school bubble. And particularly, one thing that intrigued me was the improv scene that's existed, I think particularly in Amsterdam, for a long time, actually. And this is a thing that I didn't expect, particularly from like the Dutch environment. But there's this big tradition of improv here. Guys like Han Benning and Wilbert de Jode, like incredible founders, and then going to see the ICP orchestra and completely shifting your mindset. And so for me, that opened up completely new doors from the conservatory. And it was surprising for me that they're quite separate worlds. But then I think as time goes on, the bridge starts to form, and people come here and they're more aware of the improvisers. And
I think it's maybe because it's such an open society, maybe.
yeah,
It's not
yeah, absolutely.
looking inward, but they're always looking outward, the Dutch, I think. I don't know, maybe you have different opinion.
Yeah, for me, it came from South Korea. Of course, we have probably opposite situation in society, of course, how society works. And when I came here and then graduated and just living out of, playing music, and what I felt also from improv scene and also other jazz scenes, that, all generations are really open-minded. I know a lot of musicians who were here for like 20, 30 years playing music, and then they're just all for bringing young talent, and then they have no doubt about it. That's the most incredible and different thing compared to other country, I would say. And then that really gives us like a background. You go play with me, and it's not like, like a bringing and I carry someone. It's like I also want to learn from you. Your generations are so special and so creative. And then what do you do? And then we learn each other, and that forms strongly.
How have you been? How have you lived these last few months? Have you been working, or have you been? Were you a couch potato? What have you been doing?
Actually, I was a couch potato for 2 months. I was absolutely changing for me, because I am very. I try to make myself very busy. I thought that's what's going on in my life, and that was the only thing I can do: playing drums, organizing, booking, go here, play next day, play again, teach, play. Rehearse, and that was pretty much of my life. And then I lost it at once in March. So I was lost for 2 months.
Couch potato.
Couch potato, absolutely. Ordering food, watching series from Netflix, and then this month in May, I realized, oh my God, okay, this can work. But it was fun. I never done that. I was never been a couch potato before, like never.
No.
So it was really interesting to take this 2 month time completely off and just reading a book and composing, actually. That was really special.
How about you, Alistair?
Yeah, for me, I guess I was a bit different in that sense. Like, I'm kind of this person that I deal a bit with the anxiety or worry in general by just making myself busy. So I was doing a lot of things. I don't really remember what they were, but I would keep myself very busy. So we luckily have a place to practice and study, so I would be almost every day going there. I never 100% focused on anything, but just walking the steps of a routine, even though it didn't feel like anything was there. And that kept me going, and it was kind of okay for a couple of months, but now is sort of the period for me where it's hitting a bit harder, and I need to feel something. I don't know how else to describe it, but make a meaning, in a more philosophical sense.
What do you, one day this will all be over, I hope. What do you look most forward to? What do you want to do first? Dance on the table.
I want to see the ocean.
The ocean?
Yeah.
I want to hug people. Just yeah. I mean, it doesn't mean that I don't have anyone around me, but it's like, it's so weird to see people and just like so awkward staying, But
it's like, hi.
hey, even to your
Yeah.
close friends, you're like, I don't know.
Yeah, but also not people who are not so close. You're like really happy to see people.
Yeah.
These are very strange times. I hope next year there will be another North Sea Round Town. Will you be artist in residence?
I
Better be.
I don't know if that's a question for me, but I love to be. You know, I'm ready and I have many things that I want to do, so that would be great.
And please come back to the Doelen together when all this is over.
Yeah, please.
I
love
really
to.
enjoyed your work, and I'm
Thank you.
looking forward to meeting you again. Thank you very
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for having
Yeah.
us. Yeah.